Welcome everybody to a look at the eighth and final film in the Columbia Noirs #6 box set, which focuses on the entirety of the Whistler series. So yeah, this eighth and final film was released in 1948, and it is the return of the Whistler. So this is directed by D. Ross Lederman, who I've seen a couple of films from before: Adventure in Sahara and Key Witness. I do believe we've had cast members from either of those films in prior Whistler films. This clocks in at 62 minutes long. It's once again a mystery film noir, and yeah, stars Michael Duane, who was in a previous Whistler film, who was in Secret of the Whistler, as well as Lenore Aubert, who was in the likes of Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein and Abbott and Costello Meet the Killer Boris Karloff, and finally also was in The Catman of Paris. Also stars James Cardwell, who was in the voice of the Whistler, and Anne Shoemaker, who was in House by the River, a really rather decent Fritz Lang effort. So, yeah, when a woman goes missing on the eve of a wedding, her fiance hires a detective to track her down, and yeah, basically snowballs from there. So yeah, this is the last film in the series and only the one of the 8 to not star Richard Dix, who retired after the 7th film from acting due to poor health. But despite the lack of his presence, this is still overall an effective effort that is definitely the best paced effort in the series. As yeah, this absolutely flew by. I know it's only an hour and 2 minutes, but really didn't even feel like that at all. It felt at least 20 minutes shorter than that. So yeah, fairly solidly paced. The cast as a whole is good. Michael Duane does a really rather solid role in the role of what Rich Dix would have played. Not quite as maybe like in depth of a character or as performance as Richard Dix might well have done, but he's definitely livelier. He definitely helps contribute towards the pacing being a little bit better, or like I said, the best of the series. And yeah, because he obviously is younger, he's able to move at a fair old lick in comparison to what Richard Dix could do. It is overall engrossing. The plot is well constructed. The production is decent, and there is some solid tension in all the right places. So, yeah, fairly solid effort. It's not my favourite of the 8. It's another 3-star rating, but I think I've only given 2 other films a 3-star rating, and this is by no means the worst of those 3. It's I rate it second above bottom, basically. But still, a really rather solid effort. And once again, there's a high definition presentation of this film. Again, with its original mono audio. We've got It's Murder from 1944, which clocks in at 9 minutes. It's a dramatised documentary produced for the war effort and featuring a number of cast and crew members from the Whistler series. Also got image galleries, promotional and publicity material, new and improved English subtitles, and it's again a world premiere on Blu-ray. So yeah, final film in the series, and this, even though this hasn't been a box set that has reached huge heights or anything like that, I've rated every film either 3 stars or 3.5 stars. 5 have been 3.5, I believe, and 3 were 3 stars. So yeah, it's obviously no way near as high quality as say some of the Columbia Noir box sets that we've had before, um, which are just up there, for instance. All those multicolored ones there, yeah. Um, yeah, ones in those box sets have reached 4.5 stars in terms of rating, so doesn't quite hit the heights of those. But considering there's 8 films in this box set, and it's very easy for a box set of that kind of size to have, 1 or 2 that are, truly awful. The fact that they hit a really rather solid, quality is really rather respectable, and I've enjoyed all of them. And yeah, being only about an hour each, they don't waste your time. They get into their plots quite quickly, and yeah, they offer up a decent amount of thrills and entertainment for such a short length of time. So yeah, it does make me wish that these kind of films made a return, not necessarily in terms of film noir or black and white or anything like that, but just in terms of length and low budget, get in and out of the plot, but be entertaining and well acted in the process, and even well directed. Wouldn't go amiss as well. So yeah, I do wish these single hour B movies would make a return. It would be a good way of getting people into films that might not otherwise well have done if you can attach it to a much longer, more bigger production film like a lot of B movies did in the 50s and 60s, where they usually team up with a another film and be released as a double picture release. So yeah, so overall in terms of ratings, I gave The Mark of the Whistler, The Power of the Whistler, Mysterious Intruder, Secret of the Whistler, and The 13th Hour 3.5 stars. I'd say probably my favorite two or three would be Mark of the Whistler, Power of the Whistler, and Mysterious Intruder. Oh, but then maybe Secret of the Whistler as well. See, it's hard to really, choose a proper favorite. But like I said, all but the 13th Hour, I'd say, are the really rather good ones in terms of the 3.5 star ones. In terms of the 3 star ones, I'd say the Whistler is the best of them of the three. With the Return of the Whistler that we just reviewed being in second out of those 3 star films, and then the Voice of the Whistler is easily my least favorite of the 8 films, as yeah, the narrative structure in that film really did undermine a lot of the tension and the plot in terms of being predictable or not. So yeah, that was easily my least favorite, but even my least favorite still had positives to it. So yeah, overall a solid box set. I'm gonna give the box set overall 3.5 stars out of 5. Because at the end of the day there have been more than half of the films worth 3.5 out of 5 at the end of the day. So yeah, a really really good box set, and one that I am pleased that I got, and I do highly recommend getting it, especially if you've gotten the previous box sets in the Columbia Noir series. Because yeah, it's nice to have this film noir films from Columbia again after the somewhat disappointing Universal Noir box sets, which is why I imagine we went back to Columbia, because yeah, those box sets were a hell of a lot more consistent than the two Universal Noir ones we've had so far. Not that I'd refuse another Universal Noir box set, because I imagine there could easily be some hidden gems that they've just not got their hands on yet. For instance, these weren't on Blu-ray at all before this release. I doubt they were even on DVD. So yeah, to finally get them mostly on Blu-ray high quality. The only one that wasn't was The Mark of the Whistler, which was only in standard def, but even then it still didn't look that bad. So yeah, but at the end of the day, you've got all of these films now that are readily accessible, easily to view. It takes less than 9 hours to watch all 8 films, and yeah, you'll have an enjoyable time for the most part with all of them, I believe. So yeah, if you have seen all of the films in this box set, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, thoughts on the box set in general, because for me it's been a real treat to go through, and yeah, been real fun to review each individual film as well. So yeah, but nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.